Hello and welcome to another Sun Up Strategies video. Today I have a very special guest with me, Byron Anderson, the managing partner of BDL Partners, a design and branding firm out of New York City. Welcome, Byron.
Oh, thank you, Damien. Nice to be here.
Great to have you and welcome to my studio, my backyard.
I wish I was there.
We'll get you in person next time. So obviously today I wanted to touch on a few things around what BDL Partners specializes in, and get to know you guys a bit more, and obviously your kind of expertise. So my first question to you, Byron, is how do you approach integrating a brand's identity into the physical layout and the customer journey of a C-store?
A lot of where any of this begins, and just to kind of preface the question a little bit, is that every C-store, every leadership network that we deal with within the space that we really focus in is really the C-store environment. We always really try to partner really well and ask some very strategic questions initially with the leadership. What do they want? How do they want to drive their business? A lot of what we might find is what they think they are good at. Sometimes you might have to uncover some more details by challenging their thought process and where they think growth is. And then we start to look at the store itself. A lot of what we will do from a design perspective is looking at the shelf of the store, where we are from a brand perspective, and how does that translate to the brick and mortar. A lot of what we see often is, we might be a very playful brand, but when you translate it and you look at the box itself, the box lacks that same environmental feel. So we start to look at how do we start to make sure this is the brand asset and these are the brand behaviors and the personality. We need to kind of adjust the architecture to adjust to that. And then from there is the point, and we go through the threshold and the decompression of looking at the space itself. We spend a lot of time in layout. It's really critical for us to make sure that whatever our brand has leveraged and decided that they want to be about, we make sure those became almost like the first 2-3 points of indicators that you're going to see when you first walk into the space. If they want to for food, if they want to be known for cooler doors, if they want to be known for a very fast and convenient process, we want to make sure that we're spending a lot of time in layout, because it's probably one of the most strategic things that most people overlook. And when you get to the colors and the materials, those things are just additive parts of the process. Those are the buttons and the bows, but we really want to make sure that the box itself has been designed in a very strategic way to help make sure that we are giving the consumer what they want, and we're actually leveraging against what the leadership wants to have that store deliver on.
And that, I mean, you must have some quite fun experiences with your clients, because it's, as you say, it's like the physical, the touch point of the brand. It's kind of creative expression of a brand. So can you talk a little bit about BDL Partners designs and how they've improved the customer flow and sales of some of your clients?
Yeah. When you think about trying to improve sales and the customer flow, we want to make sure that when we are looking at a brand, all the way down from how the company speaks to the team to how we now translate all of that conversation and how we want to speak to the customers. And in that, we have multiple touch points throughout the entire time. I'm talking about point of entry to how we say our thank yous, our hellos, how you doing, to your coffee cups, to how this is a small but mighty, a medium size, or whatever. We want to have fun with all of those things, just to make sure we're communicating all the way from the smallest touch points to the largest, how we want to have the brand come across in the store. I love working with various clients. Right now, I think the C store is having this moment. We see a lot of retention from the post-COVID era, where people now are still looking at the C store in a very legitimate way for mission trips, almost more consistently than other channels. And with that, now we have our clients really, wanting the stores to kind of almost live up a little bit more towards a little around the QSR look and feel. So we're having a chance to play around with a lot of things when it comes down to the store design. So when you walk into a typical store, that's, it's a four-wall situation. You got, how do we improve just the checkout, cooler wall, the food counter, and the coffee wall, right? What do we do to really create an emotive feel in that environment, and also delivering against the brand? So right now we're seeing, as much as we can win it, a clean bathroom, win it a great cup of coffee, just the look and feel and the visual that people have when they come into the space is going to actually help to translate to sales, and actually a very positive experience for the consumer.
That's great. And you do, you touch on something important there is I think we've all noticed a shift in consumer expectations and how they evolve over time and how brands also have to adapt to some of those consumer expectations and the changes in sentiment and behaviors and attitudes. So looking at kind of innovation around C-store, thinking of tech, design, is AI penetrating the C-store? Like what's the conversation around AI in C-store? So, how are you adjusting to some of these new innovations as an agency?
Well, I really enjoyed my past trip to NACS this year, where we get a chance as a collective, the National Association of Convenience Stores, to be in the space where everyone from fixtures to equipment to all of the technology that's emerging today to help a lot of my channel collect their data. Because that's what's critical at this point. We're still incubating. A lot of everything was really designed around inventory. And how do you make sure everything stays relevant, make sure your assortment is the way it needs to be. But right now, AI, we all know what it can do. But I think it's really at a point where the one thing about AI is it requires data, lots of data in order for it to kind of start to give you the hypotheticals and the opportunities to say, how can you exploit and grow your basket sales and emission trips? A lot of companies now are really, if a company hasn't done an app or reward program, they're not going to survive. Because now everybody knows that data is mission critical in order for people to understand how the store should be designed based off of, say, the clientele within a different market, what could be an opportunity for them to extend themselves into a different space or a different offer. But, right now they have to get that app, circulated in high usage, and they have to get the rewards programs to kind of deliver against those things so they can start to get that information back from them. And we're going to start to see a lot more changes and things that we haven't seen within the C-store space come online over the next couple of years. And it's going to be a very food forward, environment. We're also going to see the look and feel of how we're, starting to look at materials, their quality materials, the environmental spaces we're designing now are not very primary colors at all. We want to emote a feeling for our clients and our customers that these are spaces that if you want to sit a spell or you want to come in and actually enjoy your mission trip, you're not rushing in to get in and out. It's actually an environment that we're starting to create that actually either soothes the eyes and entices you to explore, or, we create layouts that are very impactful to where we kind of direct you without you realizing where we want you.
That's great. And you talk. I mean, many brands today talk about customization in like experience in the brand experience, and you talk about that app experience and the physical experience, and it's becoming so critical now that brands merge obviously those two together. And this has been a conversation the last 10, 15 years. Obviously, smartphones have existed, so it's definitely important that brands are kind of leveraging all those platforms to deliver on their brand experience in, as you say, like a consistent way, recognizable to the brand, and in smart and maybe even unexpected ways. So you can kind of surprise and delight if the C-store knows you're coming in or knows your frequent purchases. It's a great way to kind of enhance that relationship. And so I think there's really smart ways around how they leverage that data that you talk about. It's going to get even smarter, I think, obviously with the use of AI. So,
oh, definitely. It's going to have people react almost in real time to know if they can. If you're known for a cookie multiple times a week, minute that they come through the store, they know they can entice you with that. Maybe there's a certain point of the day where they might release more smell of the cookie in the space, or you get something on the app saying this is on deal right now. Or it might be one of those things where if there's enough of you loving the cookies, we might need to kind of really create more of a destination and an environment that actually expands the cookie program, But yeah, I think a lot of things are on the table. It's still going to be roller grills for a while, but those things are improving and the quality of food is improving. In essence, what we're seeing right now is just the convergence of how do we delight the customer? How do we, increase the sales? And a lot of that sits in part of our space, just to make sure if you do have a robust offering and SKU program, we want to make sure we elevate that and we give the visual look and feel and the surprise delight to your point. How do you shop for those things?
Awesome. Well, look, Byron, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.
And if people want to reach out to you and find you, what's BDL's website? How can they reach out to you?
Yes, you can always reach us at bdlpartners.com or send an email to me at byron@bdlpartners.com as well. Love to hear from you.
Thank you, Byron.
All right.
Great day.
All right. Take care.